now we're got our blueprint ready. We're going to move on to the warp engines. Like I said. Let's try a ruler from now on. For a while anyway. So, get a ruler. And this sail has angles on it, so measure from the furthest point to the left to the furthest point to the right. And here we have 9.5 centimeters, which means we'll have 28.5 centimeters for the total length of the warp engine. And we're going to try to get these on this section of the poster board just to save ourselves some paper. And I'm going to try to keep everything as much as possible out of one piece of poster board. So let's just kind of get rid of this line here. Close enough. Oh, one other thing too, when you're working with cardboard, make sure you use the dull, rough side instead of the shiny, slick side. Because if you do that, all you're going to do is make yourself aggravated trying to bear it down hard enough to get a pencil line to hold. And we're going to go back again. We're going to go back again with the little lead pencil. And what we're going to do, 28.5. And always remember, when you have the exact same thing on left and right, you can do it with one pattern. Like we're going to do here, we have 4 warp engines, so I'm going to make one pattern and just use it 4 times. Like I said, we start out here, leave a little space between the saucer section and the warp nacelle. And 28.5. I do mine a little backwards, starting from one to the other. So go ahead and measure the width, widest part to widest part, 1 centimeter. So keeping with our 3 scale, that'll be 3 centimeters. Try to keep everything moved off from my work area. And what I do, just to be a little extra particular, is I just go ahead and measure from one line to the other one. Seems I'm just a bit off, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just going to turn around and do the best I can. I'm not too much off. I'm a ½ millimeter off. But the original line, I'm going to draw little arrows because that'll be the top, because I'm going to cut, well, I'm going to cut some of this off because of the angle of the warp engine. Right now it's just a matter of measuring and drawing out. Once again, we have the top line before it takes an indentation is 5 centimeters, so that'll be 15 centimeters. And then we come down some, so 15 centimeters. And once again, with that dip in the engine, we'll just draw us out a curve, and we can measure how deep we need to come down. And that's a whole millimeter. So it'll be 3 millimeters. So double check. And then I'll do a whole 3 millimeters. What I do is just go up here and make another 3 millimeter mark. Like I said, right now, what I'll do is just go a little bit past the 15 millimeter mark, as long as it lines up with my other 15 millimeter, or 3 millimeter mark, excuse me, and draw it out. And there is a second indentation at the end of the warp nacelle. So, once again, I used the wrong side. So we'll go out to 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So we'll go out 24 millimeters. I always make little arrows. And if I get too complicated, I'll make a circle. That way I don't lose my train of thought. And we go from the line that I drew, and we'll measure down. And this is 3 millimeters. And 3 times 3 is 9. So here we'll go down a whole 9 millimeters. And we'll make a mark. And go back here to the end and do the same thing. Not hard, just takes a couple minutes. Gets aggravating sometimes. Getting precisely. And go ahead and line up the 2 dots. And there's a slight curvature to the engine on the bottom as well. So we'll do the same thing. Just go ahead and get a mark lined up. And do the same thing again, just on the bottom this time. And we go 1 millimeter. So it'll be 3 millimeters. And we'll measure and see how far this goes in. It would be 2.1 centimeters, which would be 6.3. So we'll go in 6.3 from the end and make a mark. So now what I'll do is just take the line. And for these, it takes kind of a slow angle, so we'll go in and measure the 2.2, so just go in 6.4, or excuse me, 6.8. No. 7.2. And just kind of get you a nice little. I do mine by hand. Well, until my pencil breaks. And I'll do the same up top. That's it, I just kind of free-handed it. Ain't gonna be that bad, even though the pencil just broke again. And we'll do the same thing down here. Well, oh Lordy, try to change pencils, see if we can get that right. We also have here at the end we have lights, but we'll put them on at a later time, just like the side indentions and the upper light. Right now we're just worried about the basic outline of the warp engine. And here, what I do, since a protractor, I just line up the end good as I can, make a straight line, and that'll give us our dimensions for the forward slant in the engine, right here. And according to this, we go back half a centimeter, which would be 1.5. So we make our mark, 1.5, 0.5 times 3, and just connect the corner to the angle, and once again has a curvature. With this curvature, I'll just round it off by hand. Like I said, I'm not trying to be perfect. And right now that seems to be decent looking. So what I'll do now is I will go back and we'll just do everything in ink. Because when everything looks good, everything is ink. If you happen to spill something or slide something or something like you can rub across, I don't know if you can see it, that kind of smears. Once it looks good and you can ink it, you can don't have to worry about that no more. Because you can rub your hand by accident over the ink and you won't have no problem. A little Sharpie's real good. I'm glad they made them. Because I have done these with ball pens, or ballpoint pens, excuse me. Not a good thing, because that ink does like to smear. Well, there we go. Just go in and take your time with those little curves. Well, as you can see here, I messed up. Oh well. Let's go back and fix that real quick. Another thing too, these lines kind of got to pay attention. Well, thought that looked kind of funny, but let's just go ahead and round it off by hand. That looks pretty good. something this short, me personally, I'll just do it by hand. Because we're going to be cutting it with the razor blade, I'm sure it's going to get a little bit more crooked than that. So, well, there we go. There's one outline for a warp engine. It does look kind of weird being square, but according to the blueprint, it's square. So that'll be one. Looks good. Oh. One pattern for one warp engine. All right. Let's see if we can move on to the pylon section. All right. All right. Go back to our blueprint. If this looks kind of odd, I have stuff printed on the other side. I'm trying to save my paper. Oop. Adjust my seat. Now we're going to be working on the cross pylon section here, which connects the warp engines to the main saucer section. And I can see right now in this area we're going to draw a line and try to make this a measurable line inside this negative space where it runs into the hull. So without a protractor, same thing here, just so we'll just make a line. Same thing here. We barely have a little edge, a straight edge. So I'll just work it. And same thing, same scale, everything times 3. So another thing, this line will intersect with this line, and basically we have a square of what we need to start off with. So same thing, just draw a line straight out. So looks like the main part will be 4.3, which will wind up being 12.9. So, alright, and just scribble down your measurements and measure between the engines, and that would be 4.5. 13.5. So it'll be 12.9, 13.5. What I do here is I'll go ahead and see, I actually measure from the edge. Let's see, 12.9. Yeah. Looks like I'm barely going to have enough to get this pattern on here, so we'll just measure it out. What I do, I just measure from the edge. Well, what I do to make things easier and more level and straight is I just measure the bear up against the bottom of the poster board and measure there, which would be 13.5. And once again, just move up, 13.5. And with a straight edge, just connect the two dots. And connect the two dots up top and we'll have our square. And since this is symmetrical on each side, we'll just mark off our midpoint and draw another line. And that would be 12.9 divided by 2 would be 6.45. What I do is make little notes here, that way I know what side, because it's not a perfect square. So we go for 6.45 and this in 6.5. This is another reason I like metric, is because you can get in there, and if you don't know exactly 6.45, you can just poke right between the 4 and the 5 and it'll be close. Unlike a standard scale. So we do our 6.45, make our dots, and connect the dots. What I do is, with another ruler, I just double check my measurements, because sometimes these quote unquote straight lines look pretty crooked. And it may be the way the paper's cut, maybe, that's right, maybe I'm just an old man. Well, we have our center mark. Now, no, I didn't forget. Let's go back and measure one more time. It's like woodwork. Measure twice, cut once. Alright. So this will be up like this. And there's already a halfway mark in the plans. So we'll just give this a get as a pencil and mark it off. Well, get my pencil in there. Keep breaking. Alright, what we'll do is we'll start at the closest to the center section. 1.2, which would be 3.6, and 3.6 divided by 2, 1.8. So go in well, real quick, we're going to make this a square, 13 and a half. 6.75. And same thing, you have 0.75, so just put your mark between the 7 and 8. That'll work out pretty good. That's good. Now we can measure. .2 is 3.6, which would be 1.8. Alright. 1.8. Make your lines. And now I'll just circle them, that way when I do my measuring at the bottom, I won't get confused. Like I said, I'm an old man. course, now I'll just go ahead and draw a line. And we have top measurement. So now we're going to measure how far to go down before the angle stops. So 2.1, which would be 3.6. And once again, make your mark. See this little circle or an arrow. Alright. And once again, just make your line. Now we have to get this angle, which is pretty easy because all you have to do is measure how far it comes straight in, and that will be 0.2 centimeters, so it'll be 0.6 centimeters. Or 6 millimeters. And done that, we'll go ahead draw this line here. And that angle is done. And now we're going to move on to the two angles at the bottom. Alright, get in here and get back to, done got our measurements made. So we'll just go ahead and make our lines. Looks kind of funny because I had to go back and do some measuring. Got noisy cats in our neighborhood. And they're all mine. So we'll just go ahead and make the angles. Like I said, something looks a little weird here, but apparently it's right. So we've got the two back angles here. Now we've got our lower edges, so we'll work on the back end now. And with our center lines, we'll just draw from the center, measure how far down the back of the impulse engines are, and start all over again. Point 7. Be 2.25. Or actually it was 0.75. So go for our center line. .25. 1, 2. Cross section would be 1.2, 3.6, which divided by 2 would be 1.8 on each side. And it has an angular part coming down, be 0.3, which would be 0.9. And we have this other angle, so we'll go ahead and mark it off. Well, I'm getting the pin lined up. Then we're going to go down from the front and we're going to get this final angle so we can finish out. Well, no, actually, since we've made a box, these measurements mark up or mark together. We can just line our marks up. Since they're straight, so we'll just go ahead and line everything up. And that's it. We'll have to go in and do a little more work on the front of this pattern when we get everything lined up. Right now this will be general. And then when we get the cardboard pieces cut out, then I can go readjust this pattern to make it fit. So, go ahead. Like I said, go back and take your Sharpie. Just go ahead and line your pin. And, well, now we have the pattern for forward warp ensigns, pylons, and the saucer section.